crypto today. So all cryptocurrencies has been a crazy week, an insane week in cryptocurrencies. So I guess, yeah, a lot has happened. I don't know. China banned banks, Chinese banks and financial institutions from carrying out cryptocurrency transactions. Godwin Emefiele, Central Bank Governor of Nigeria, was heavily praised with people tweeting, because he did this first, and he was heavily criticized when he did the same thing here in Nigeria. And somehow it turned into, vindication for him on Twitter here. The United States.
So essentially, what did he do as a background?
No, yeah, I'm summarizing. So we'll get to that in a second. So that's one. So China, reactions to the CBN governor. Then the United States just announced that they are going to require more information via the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, on taxes for cryptocurrencies above $10,000. Jerome Powell said he's going to explore. The US is going to actually put out a paper this summer and explore digital coins. And Fisayo, what else am I doing now? What else has happened this week? I think those are the
buy the dip.
Huh?
Buy the dip.
No, buy the dip, exactly. So first, starting with China, Fisayo, what's your I guess your take on why the Chinese decided to go that route and restrict financial on crypto transactions?
Yeah, it's definitely simple. So can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so it's simple. China needs to hold their grip on their financial system, and what cryptocurrency does is that it decentralizes that. China strives around centralized authority, right? Yes, of course they have some form of capitalism, but of course it's still communist backed, right? Government, holding a firm grip on what citizens can do, right? So it's a continuous push by the Chinese government to continue, to hold their firm grip on their people, right? Because if they allow their financial institutions to continue to support cryptocurrency transactions, of course, that's the beginning of what's it called, of the decentralization of the Chinese grip, and the Chinese government or Chinese communist government doesn't necessarily want that. So that's the rationale from the Chinese perspective. But strangely, they've not stopped the people from using cryptocurrency yesterday. Similar to what CBN has done. Banks and payment systems should not be involved in the cryptocurrency game, right? So I mean, it's typical China. I'm not surprised. So it's what it is. So I think Chinese people have found a way to work around the limitations that the government has provided for them, and they are largely happy with that.
I think that's through P2P, peer-to-peer transactions, right? We saw that in Kenya, saw it in Nigeria, and most likely in China, where those transactions still happen. Although they are more risky though, because peer-to-peer, you don't have an exchange between you and the other person you're transacting with. So the risk does go up.
Yes, so the peer-to-peer transaction is an interesting way, but there's a way the cryptocurrency exchange or the cryptocurrency wallet figures out a way to ensure that the control actually happens, right? When you're doing the peer-to-peer transaction, they sit down as as like the arbiter, in that case, so that once the transfer has been made from a potential client to another, they then release some assets. So there's this monitoring that the cryptocurrency exchange does to ensure that yes, there is fairness in the operation of the peer-to-peer type agreement across multiple players. So I guess the exchanges have to just figure out a way to ensure that they continue.
The Colonial Pipeline, they finally got access to it, but apparently they paid $4.4 million or so in ransomware. And was that in? I understand some of it was in cryptocurrency. So if I'm wrong, maybe it was, right?
Yes.
So what about the reputation of cryptocurrency's reputation as far as the transactions, ransomware, the dark web? Can it shake? Because, I mean, frankly, it still looks like majority of transactions that go on there are illegal and used for, ransom and all these other things.
Yes, so Rotus, I'm sincerely concerned about the reputation of the US dollar as well. Even just last week, the Nigerian special assistant to the governor of Ogun State was arrested for identity theft, and then what's it called, for about $350,000, defrauding people of their unemployment benefits. So it's the reputation of the dollar at stake. It's the same way, same argument around around guns, right? Guns don't kill people, people kill people. This is about people, right? Not around the medium, right? So even if you ban cryptocurrency today, fraudulent activities will still happen. People find loopholes in every system to ensure that they defraud other people. So the people is the problem, right? So it's not about cryptocurrency. It's not about dollar. It's not about naira. It's about the people.
Val, keep this chart up. Okay, so fine. That's one. So safety, just safety. Look at this chart, Fisayo, and look at the drop from May 8th to May the 11th or 12th. When the Chinese did what they did, it dropped almost about 15-16%. I think it's bounced back. I think 12 or 13%. The volatility, Fisayo, we've talked about safety. What about the volatility and the fact that this thing still doesn't have any quote unquote intrinsic value?
And is it an effect of the regulation, the lack of regulation that it seems to have?
On regulation, I can't see volatility. Anyway,
the spikes are scary.
Yeah, I mean, so I've always argued that cryptocurrency doesn't have, its own intrinsic value. I don't see it as an asset class, but of course, people that trade cryptocurrencies are aware of the volatility involved. I mean, don't forget that even the current volatility we're seeing has not gotten back to the levels of maybe even last year, when cryptocurrency was traded at less than $10,000, when Bitcoin was traded at less than $10,000, right? It broke its $10,000 mark for the first time last year December or something, I guess, right? So when you talk about volatility, we've not even hit the point of volatility. I mean, I remember about 2-3 years ago when Bitcoin was traded at less than $3,000, right? And then moved from $3,000 to $6,000. So you expect that something that can move that fast will as well drop that fast. So it doesn't cast aspersion on the usefulness of the cryptocurrency, but it just means that, so let's think about this, right? The biggest problem to many things is uncertainty, right? As a crypto trader or as a crypto asset holder, one thing is clear, that yes, you hold this asset and it's very volatile. Once that is proposed upfront, then you know that yes, once you get into it, it's a very volatile asset, and you're able to figure out a way to manage your volatility. Right, so it's the same way. When you drink too much, you can lose your cognitive control, right, for some time, right? So that's the way you drink responsibly. The same way, if you are trading cryptocurrency, trade responsibly, and I think that's what it is.
Okay, well, I just want to remind people that again, everybody knows my stance on crypto from the beginning, especially the Bitcoins and so on. One, very volatile. Two, the illegal activities that happen there. That your dollar argument, I didn't want to extend this thing, but I'm not buying that one. The dollar is a currency backed by the Central Bank of the United States.
Yeah, but people commit using the dollar. So does that change anything about the reputation?
No, the dollar has been around for how many years now?
Yes, I know, but people commit fraud. As long as people commit fraud using the currency, does that affect the reputation of the currency? It's about the people. That's what I'm saying. It's not about Bitcoin.
I just want to remind folks, just viewers, please only use money you can afford to lose. If you see, and you saw what happened, right, where people were lamenting when everything dropped and everybody was yelling up and down. But real quick, what do you make of the change in attitude towards the central bank governor on Twitter? What happened with China?
I don't think that was a change in attitude. I think that was a handful. I think that was just a handful of people that are in support of the CBN on the issue. So again, irrespective of how bad someone is, right, you still have your own support, as case might be. So I think that's what happens. I don't think there's a change in attitude. I mean, Rotus,
change in attitude towards this particular matter of restricting financial institutions from cryptocurrency transactions.
I mean, I think we should take
Went
a poll.
first, and he was heavily criticized, and now the Chinese just did it after. I'm talking about that specific issue.
Rotus, let's put a challenge out. Let's do a Twitter poll by Smooth FM to say, what if the change really happened, and let's see how people vote, the voting pattern of people on this thing. It's just a handful of people that are saying, yeah, the CBN should have been. I mean, even if you spoke to people about the cross-racial governor, people are supporting him. So people are supporting, different people. So yes, whether how bad you are, you still have people that think about it this way, think about it that way, right? So
no, you're still going general. I'm talking. So wait, okay, forget what everybody's saying. What I'm saying is, in light of what China did, that means you don't support China's restriction on financial institutions. Because what I'm saying is, when Nigeria did it first, the central bank was criticized. That why are you restricting financial institutions? Now China did it, and so what I'm saying is, following what China did, what does that mean, the CBN's action in light of China now doing this? Because if China had done it first, everybody would say follow. But Nigeria did it first, China follow. So I'm just talking about within that context. That is all I'm saying. That context of what Nigeria did and China following.
Right. So I'll use another example to justify what I'm saying. Right. So I was having a Twitter spat with Obanikoro, the representative of Ibejuleki in the house, when he was tweeting around people should defend themselves. And I asked him, okay, guy, what is the government's responsibility in securing the people? Right. He then responded and said, okay, even the US, issued guns, right, for people to defend themselves. And I responded to him like, okay, you are learning. You only remember the US when you want to justify your bad behavior, right? In the US, when you call first responders, that they respond. Like, you don't see those examples that you can learn from the US to use in Nigeria. But when it comes to justifying bad behaviors, you remember the US. So that is the same thing that's happening here, where when you want to justify, bad things, you remember China, right? China is doing it now. Yes, but China has built a system where it has lifted people out of poverty. Nobody's seen that to learn from China. So my
jobs, yes.
Right. My thought around this is that it's not about people changing attitude. Of course, people when the CBN banned cryptocurrency, people supported him too, right? And of course, people also disagree with him. So it's just what is happening. Has nothing to do with whether, of course, and when China did it, people that supported before will find China as a justification for doing it, right? But they won't tell you that yes, China had built large payment systems already through Alipay, through what's the name of their chat app again?
WeChat.
They built large systems already to ensure that they cater to individual payments and every other issues around it. So singling out an issue, okay, the CBN has banned cryptocurrency, China has banned it. Yeah, it's great for everybody. It's totally wrong, and I think I would continue to vilify the CBN governor for.
So central banks. So what should the attitude of central banks be to financial institutions facilitating cryptocurrency transactions? Really, we're out of time. But if you were a central bank governor, what would you do?
Yes, so I would take the similar approach that the US is taking. Okay, yes, I don't.
The US.
I think yes, around okay. They're building stable coins. That's still a way to speak it. Can we use stable coin as a way to facilitate, cryptocurrency transactions across the US? And ensure that yes, because my job is to ensure that people are safe, people are able to trade cryptocurrency, safely, and able to use it for the general financial system. Not that I just wake up one morning and say I'm buying this. I'm doing a blanket ban. There are things that people don't understand before, right? So they have to just figure out a way to say, the same thing. This is actually what the SEC did with Bamboo, with Probe and other brokers giving access to US stocks, right? Or to stocks across the world. I think it's totally irresponsible to just wake up one morning and say you're banning because you don't understand what it is. Take your steps, take your time, learn about the thing, understand the risks, right? Inform the public about the risk. Okay, this is how we are regulating. This is how we are stepping into ensure that yes, we're able to take advantage of that. Of course, I'm not a cryptocurrency advocate. Yes, I buy and own some assets as today. But just waking up one morning and say that yes, we are banning it, I think it's totally responsible from any regulator.
I like how upfront you are, Fisayo. Thank you.
Right, but to be clear, first of all, they didn't wake up and ban it. They warned, in fact, the CBN held roundtables on crypto. I attended two of them in Lagos, where they have invited people. Well, hold on, that's one. Two, they put out notices warning everybody that
they sent memos to banks, to DMOs, deposit money banks.
Thank you. They warned them. And then three, that was when they now came out with the ban. So there were advanced warnings. So it wasn't like you woke up one morning and said,
no.
Anyway, people say,
although I could give you more time, but
I know.
Yes, I just have enough to read the messages.
By the way,
Fisayo, we need to take this to social media. You could talk on this. This one from Lukman Ngbagada says, as a crypto trader, I have smiled more than cried, and even with the current dip, the recovery rate is almost immediate. People need to understand that and act accordingly. It's not for everyone. The higher the risk, the greater the return in investments. Goke from UK says, one of the reasons and purpose why cryptocurrencies was created is to avoid traceability. So if central banks want to ban it, then they should just ban it. Matthew Falabi says, yes, people will always find loopholes for fraudulent activities in every system, but cryptocurrencies make it more convenient for such. No country will allow its economy to run without oversight. It means the whole economy can crash overnight. And Jerry, thank you so much for your greeting. Lenin says the Twitter squad is flippant, but in fairness and to the specific issue, MFLA did what a regulator should do. CBN had warned about crypto a long time ago. Thank you, Lenin. And thanks everyone for joining the conversation this morning. Thank you, Fisayo.
Thanks, Valentine. Thank you, everybody, for your message. And you should definitely check this out on YouTube. Very interesting.
Yes, please. It's YouTube. On YouTube, just go to the search box